So, Will, you've returned from France. You have finished your exams. Are you actually going to start reading again?
I actually am, Ed. You know what? I'm free. Summer's incoming, and June is going to be a month of Titans.
Wow. Readers,
reviewers,
countrymen,
lend us your ears.
And a huge thank you to all of our Patreons.
Thank you to the Pit Fighters, the First Swords, and all of the Bright Stars, Truth and Courage.
Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Will, this is my brother Ed, and today we're going to be talking about our June TBR, all the books we intend to read in the glorious month of June.
How you June?
So as I said, I'm free. I'm going to be making you read some good books, Ed.
What?
Some of the books are picking up our recommendations off me.
You don't make me do anything. I do it at my own volition.
From now on, you do as I tell you, okay?
You can be a bon garçon and pick it up.
Come back from front. Good boy.
Good boy. So you heard Ed in a previous video call me good boy a lot, so it's my time to get him back.
Like the extent of my French is les incompetents. Okay?
That's from Home Alone.
Good boy.
Home Alone. Damn it. Anyway, this is a month of Titans for me. Oh my gosh. It's like I thought all the big authors I haven't read their books yet.
You're getting a little long-winded
put them
over
together.
Here, okay?
And that's what...
Since I saw Chris do that to Mads, it's just iconic. And, I do that to Will all the time.
So funny.
Getting a little bit long-winded over here, okay?
Yeah,
so,
when I think Ed's doing it, I think, let him enjoy the moment.
Let's talk books, shall we?
Let's get into it. Talk about your first one.
You're reading more than me for the first time ever.
So, wow, I'm going to read All the Pretty Horses by Cormac McCarthy. So I still haven't decided what my dissertation at uni is going to be. Yeah. And it might centre on Cormac McCarthy. So I want to read All the Pretty Horses.
You should probably read all of his books if you can do it about Cormac McCarthy.
No, because you don't focus on the entire...
Well, actually,
the
rules of
but you like All the Pretty Horses, don't you?
I really enjoyed All the Pretty Horses. Obviously, I think The Crossing, which is book 2, is even better. But All the Pretty Horses is widely regarded as maybe After the Road, his kind of most accessible, award-winning book.
Right.
I'd say.
Okay. Because obviously, I recommend Cormac McCarthy to you, so you can help recommend this to me.
What prize did this win?
I don't know.
Was it with a Booker? Or maybe not. Maybe I'm being... Well, maybe it was listed for the Pulitzer. I can't remember, but it definitely... It blew him up.
Because I think The Road won.
Yeah.
But anyway, on to your first one, Ed.
And I will be finishing The Killer Angels. I did have this in for May, but I read a few chunky books as well. So I didn't quite manage to squeeze it in. But The Killer Angels is a great read so far. But check in at the end of the month to find out my full review of this book that also won the Pulitzer Prize. Look at us, Will.
Wow, look at us
you go.
We have got the Devils up there because we will be interviewing Joe Abercrombie in the first few days of June. And I'm scared.
Yeah, I would
because
be
we've
if
done
I were you, I would be scared.
We have had the privilege of interviewing some amazing authors who we love their work, but through a screen, so we can kind of hide.
Yeah.
You know, if I feel the fear, I just kind of lean, grab my drink. They think I'm having a drink, but really I'm like...
Or the internet goes and we're like this.
When we don't know what to say. It was when they saw the dog walking in the background that we knew we were doomed. But anyway, next up for me, I have got a new release. This is Never Flinch by Stephen King. He's one of my favourite authors, and so I want to keep more on top of his new releases because I can't really say, oh yeah, I've read his releases since he started.
Why don't you read
my age
his
kind of
most
goes against
popular
me,
books, Will?
I've read about 10 or 11 of his books, Ed. But I thought, you know what, part of the reason I love BookTube and this whole community is talking to people when they first pick up a book.
Yeah.
And so many people pick the same book up when it's released. And so Never Flinch, of course, Stephen King's got a huge core fan base. They're alright.
Pretty big.
Yeah, pretty big. And so I thought I'll pick up Never Flinch now.
Do you prefer Stephen King or Joe Hill?
I've only read one Joe Hill book, but
has he got a book called Nosferatu as well?
Yeah, he's got Nosferatu, Firestarter, Heart-Shaped Box, and he's coming out with his first novel release in, I think, 5 years. King Sorrow.
Oh, nice title.
It's really weird. The blurb, the first half, I was like, this sounds a bit weird, and the second half sounds awesome. So, read it when you want.
Thank you.
Not the entire 800-page book, but just the blurb.
And I'll be reading a huge book that is heavier than my child, who is 2 years old, nearly. Wow. And The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas is a classic, is widely regarded as one of the best works of art ever created.
Yeah. Is this why Sadie's called Sadie?
Yes, Sadie was named Mercedes because of the character here. There's also an Edmond. Almost Edward, yeah.
Close.
And what is the Git called? What's his name? Because it's Edmond Dante, isn't it? Dante's... what's What's the little git called? What's his name?
I don't know, Ed.
The
There was
sock.
a recent film, wasn't there?
There was
it meant to
I
be
think
good?
there was a mini TV series last year and a French film, and both of them are meant to be excellent. So
Okay.
I would like to watch one or two.
Of course, do
both
it in
of
the
them.
right order.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been excited to read this for years, but obviously it's almost 1,300 pages, so I get a bit scared. But I am, I'm going to be going to France. What better time to be reading it whilst in what better book?
What a time to be alive.
Exactly. So the Count of Monte Cristo, I'm very excited. I'm going to read less books this month. We do have a read along on the Discord that actually neither of us can be taking part in this time, because I've read The Darkness That Comes Before by R. Scott Bakker.
Yeah.
And his name's Baker, but I refuse to say Baker.
Why?
It's double K.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I've read it. You don't really read much.
Well,
Or
the thing is, most
reading
of these
you,
are
so-
either sequels or have been on my list for a while or
Yeah.
new release, so not for me right now. Or just books.
terrible excuse.
I'm sorry.
That was poor form.
I've just finished uni,
Yeah.
and so I'm picking up books that I've been really wanting to
Undepressing.
pick up
Yeah.
for months and
Yeah,
months.
fair enough. But yeah, so I'm going to prioritise Count of Monte Cristo over the read along. Yeah. Anyway, that's my excuse. First one I bowed out of. So.
First one. Next up for me, I have got Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. Oh, I love this series so much. I think on my reread of book one, I think it's much better on a reread.
Mm-hmm.
I know you didn't click with the audiobook, did you? Maybe it's because I read it and you listened to it the first time you read
I think
it.
the bloke had a nice voice.
But you
I-
didn't connect.
But I think Robin Hobb's prose, like Pat Barker,
Yeah.
is a prose that you need to read and dissect with your eyes.
Interesting.
But I do...
Does it really click with me? It just shows, what, subjectivity. It's what we're here for.
But I did enjoy with the live ships reading physically and listening to the audio.
the
so-
immersive reading experience there. Do you know, I've never done that.
No, that's my new favourite thing. I did it with Pillars of the Earth. I did it with The Devils as well.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm definitely going to start. I'm doing
Did you write down lots of notes for our interview
of
for The Devils?
Yeah, millions.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. Royal Assassin.
But-
What a book.
So, yeah, I always think of Royal
Just
Assassin
goes
when I think
downhill
of...
from there, but it's a great book, isn't it?
Royal Assassin is incredible, and I'll sort Ed out after, don't you worry. But it's an incredible book, and I cannot wait to read it again. But, yeah, just a lot of emotional trauma is going to
Yeah.
happen in it. And,
Wolves do not have kings. Well,
what a line.
yeah.
What a line.
Wolves have no kings, isn't it? Okay, so next I'm going to be reading East of Eden. My good friend Ingrid lent me this book, and every time I see her, she says,
Well, Ed.
have you read?
Ed. Lady Ingrid.
Lady Ingrid. Every time I see her, she says, have you read East of Eden yet? So I have to, before I think she takes the book away from me. I have to at least say I've started it. I've wanted to read
Oh,
East
she
of
lent
Eden
you this
for a
copy?
long time. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's
It's a
very
nice
kind.
old copy. Show me her library, and it is
Incredible, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
a great library. So I will be reading East of Eden. I'm very, very excited to. I think June is a pretty good month for that. And I'm also very keen to watch the film with James Dean as well. Me and Sade have been watching a lot of films from the 50s and the early 60s recently. We recently loved The Quiet Man, John Ford's epic with John Wayne. Just great film. Fantastic vibes. Brilliant.
Very nice,
And
Ed.
I love Ireland. Would love to visit. But East of Eden is another book that is obviously a classic, and the film was meant to be brilliant as well. So I'm looking forward to experiencing both of them. This is a Bantam book, only 75 cents.
Wow.
Wow.
That is crazy,
That's
isn't
pretty
it?
cool.
And yeah, I need to read some more Steinbeck.
Yeah, you do.
I do.
You definitely do, Will.
And talking about sequels, as I said earlier, I've got another sequel. This is Unbound by Michael Miller. I read book one of Songs of Chaos in April, and Ascendant was fantastic. At first I thought, nice, some classic nostalgic fantasy. I can sink into this.
Yeah.
It did keep that vibe, but also there was nuance. It was fresh.
Yeah.
It kept me light on my feet. It kept
Really
me
underrated book,
entertained.
I would
It's
say.
not just chucking in the same ingredients. It's adding a bit of spice, some different herbs.
All right, Chris, you
And it's adding that, and it was a really great reading experience. And I've heard each book just gets better.
Yeah.
How nice is that with this series, Ed? When each book just
love
gets better.
that. And I recently saw that Michael Miller is doing a chat with Sebastian de Castell in Canterbury at the beginning
Perfect.
of June. So that's
Wow.
really, really cool that he's got that opportunity.
I
as
wish I was
well.
here.
I wish I was there.
That's a shame.
That is a shame.
That is a shame, but,
Michael
yeah.
Miller, great author. I'm excited to try this book as well.
Yeah, Unbound. Cannot wait to pick it up.
Very nice, Will. And I recently mentioned this in our historical fiction TBR video, but You Dreamed of Empires by Alvaro Enrique is a story of Hernan Cortez, the conquistador, as he enters the city of Tenochtitlan and he meets the Aztec king, the Emperor Moctezuma. I know a lot about the history. I'm excited to see the retelling of this. And I've heard that there is a lot of magical, fantastical realism in the latter half of this book. That's a little bit like a mushroom trip. And I don't like mushrooms, but I'm pretty good at tripping over.
Nice.
So I think it'll be good fun. But I'm excited to read this. I've heard great things. It's a very nice cover.
I was about to say, really like that cover.
Really cool.
And you searched for it for ages, didn't you? And then you bought it online, and like the day after, we went into our local Waterstones, and it was just there.
And I saw it, and I've never ever seen it in Waterstones, but they didn't even have Buffalo Hunter Hunter.
No, it wasn't released yet.
I went in again.
Oh, they went in again.
I went
and
in
it wasn't
again,
there.
and it wasn't there.
Wrong.
Shame on them. But anyway, this is going to be great.
And then next up is my last one that I'm talking. Oh no, sorry.
Oh
penultimate.
Dear. Oh, how unprofessional.
My last sequel that I'm talking about, and that is Jade War.
Oh, wow.
By Fonda Lee. I still remember Jade City quite vividly.
Yeah.
I think it's put that really staged.
Do you look back on
it?
Do you look back on your time reading it fondly?
Yes, and that is a very good joke, Ed. But I will be watching a recap of Jade City just to refresh myself completely because I read it about 7-8 months ago.
I can tell you. I'll tell you the recap.
Go on then. No, I'm joking. But yeah, Jade War, book 2 of the Greenbone Saga. That's boiled down very simply.
Yeah, and a few people bite the dust.
Yeah, just a few. A few. But yeah, I really enjoyed how book 1 subverted a lot of expectations and it's really hitting that dynastic drama. And I'm looking forward to book 2.
Mm-hmm. And book 3, Will, is crazy. And the last one for me is, it's a book that William read first. Yeah. It doesn't really happen often, but he has said, Ed, you need to read this. I'm very upset that he has read this before me. Buffalo Hunter Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones is a horror literary fiction novel that is the story of is it the Blackfeet? I believe it's the Blackfeet tribe, and around around the Blackfeet massacre. And I'm very intrigued to read this. It has a review of Tommy Orange on the back, and all you guys know that I'm a huge fan of Tommy Orange. And I believe Stephen Graham Jones was even on Joe Abercrombie's
book tour,
American book tour.
He interviewed him, yeah.
Like, he wrangled some names, didn't he?
Yeah.
He pulled it. Even Pierce Brown turned up.
Just for fun. He wasn't even interviewing.
Very
Joe
handsome
Abercrombie.
man. Very handsome man.
We'll cut that clip and send it to him.
The Buffalo Hunter is meant to be incredible, according to that guy. So I'm excited.
It's one that you either hate or love, and you know if you'll love it quite
You're
early.
saying this about every book.
No. As I've said, The Wolf Den, Silence of the Gales, I knew there's no chance that you're not going to love this.
Yeah.
And I think you'll love Buffalo Hunter. But there's a lot of people who it won't click with. But if they do, they'll love it.
Well, it's not a mouse, is it?
It's not. I don't think it's one where you'll have feelings in the middle.
Okay, cool.
What did you just say about the mouse?
It's not a mouse. Mouse is for clicking. Not the animal.
Yes.
Not those
my last one for me. You're on it today, Ed. I'm still a little bit tired, so it's going over my head. I'm
You're
sorry.
jet lagged, don't you?
I'm not yet. Jet lagged from an hour.
Nothing would go over my head.
Drax, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Why would you do that? Why would you interrupt my joke to just say the reference?
Sorry.
I will remember that.
My reflexes
when
are
you
too
make
fast.
your next joke next year, I will remember that.
Oh,
okay,
that is cruel.
Carry on.
That is cruel.
Carry on.
Next up, a little-known book that no one's talked about. It is The Will of the Many. So there's my joke out of the way. The Will of the Many by James Islington. I cannot wait to pick this up. People are obsessed, and I've stayed disciplined. I thought I'll wait closer to the release of The Strength of the Few. We're very lucky to be sent an excerpt, which is thanks to you, Ed, because you talked about The Will of the Many on the channel. And so I'm really looking forward to reading The Will of the Many, and then...
Are you glad I got that sent through to us?
Thanks, Ed. I answered the email, so it's kind of like joint work.
I also
between the two of us. But yeah, teamwork makes the dream work, Ed, and that's what this channel's about.
I'm glad you're finally catching up and reading it. That's great.
Yeah, but you just read Buffalo Hunter, the book I recommended, and I'll read The Will of the Many, and we'll be even. So there we go. That's the books that I'm reading in June. Have you got any more, Ed?
That is me done and dusted, lemon and custard. I hope that you enjoyed listening to us argue and listening to us talk about the books we're going to read in June. What are you guys going to be reading? Please head on over to our Discord to read anything you want, really, and tell us about it. You can even talk about music or films or games or TV or your cat over there.
Do you know what I've enjoyed doing lately? Starting a poll of someone's like their favourite instalment of a series and author, and they're just leaving and letting
Watching
the chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoy a poll. I love a poll.
And also you can influence what's on the channel because we ask what people would like to see on here.
You have influence over us guys, which most people do, to be fair.
Most people.
Truth and Courage.
The Brothers Gwynne.
The Brothers Gwynne.